Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, boys and girls. Welcomes. Stupid microphone doing stupid microphone things. Should be working again now. Hopefully, possibly, maybe, probably, could, definitely not, maybe. Who knows? Right. Good morning. I'm all over the place today. I've been up for hours. This is technically my second breakfast, but I had to go to the store this morning, so I swung by Lidl. Got a cheeky second breakfast before we start the stream today. Which is why we're already way past coffee o'clock. Want some freeway sparkling lemon. With a mini pizza and a donut. The healthiest of lifestyles for the gamers of us out there. It's quite dark in here still. There's nothing I can do about it. Boys and girls, I'm going to eat some breakfast. I welcome you all in. We're probably going to continue playing some GTA 5 this morning. I got to post my auctions though. But I spotted this as I was loading up Co-Carnage talking about Twitch has a big problem. And he's quite an influential man, to say the least. So I'm intrigued. Follow me intrigued. I might watch this while we get some food in me. Make sure that you guys have some sound. How we doing, Chris? Good morning. Welcome in. Oh, good to see your little flash sale on Transmogs is going all right, by the way. We've got Lidl pizza, Lidl pepperoni pizza. Not the most attractive, but it's just good. And we have Lidl glazed donut with jam in it. Second breakfast on the go today. Oh yeah. All right, let's turn the tunes off for a second while we watch this.
Could have severe and significant ramifications to the entire platform. I am pretty frustrated with Dan. What if Twitch doesn't have effective tools for identifying and stopping view bots?
View buying.
Viewer bot team.
Oh dear.
What? This needs to be more of a thing and not something that's just pushed under the rug like it is now.
Yo, he view botting. So what?
Yeah, so
what?
Ray J is a streamer. I think he's also a rapper. I think he's pretty popular. I'm not sure, but he seems to have a big following. And he started to stream on Twitch. I think T-Pain helped set him up. And then he overnight went from like a few hundred viewers to like
lost
70,
the bit dono badge.
You can look on his records. Like
I think it's monthly.
So people started calling him out on it. The difference between what he has done and people in the past is he basically looked right in the camera and said, "Yeah, I'm view botting. Everyone does it. I admit to doing it. It's legal, so I'd be dumb not to do it."
Oh, Rage like Kai said, not. He got 80,000 people in this shit. Don't go, yo, he view botting.
Dear.
So what? It's legal. Remember, whatever's legal, you should do. If you can legally purchase and flip your money, that's what this platform is for.
Now, that puts this directly into
Anytime anybody uses the word legal, you clearly have no idea what you're talking about. Because legal is very different to within the terms of service that is set forward when you choose to use an application or a service or something. Legal? Got nothing to do with it, mate.
Twitch's lap. Twitch now has to decide, are you just going to be cool with view botting or are you going to actually enforce it? Because here's a little known fact. No one really gets ever banned or temp banned for view botting ever. It doesn't happen.
It hasn't happened, yeah.
So if this was something that was done to him, it would be one of the first times it's been done. All the worst view botters have left the platform in fear of things happening, not because things have actually happened to them. So
I don't know if that's true.
This is a big thing.
I'm pretty sure
now,
people
Twitch
have been
has
banned for
clearly in the
view
past
botting.
said language that has led us to think it's not okay. Dan Clancy specifically has made public statements saying that he is not okay with it, which is why everyone is a little confused about why this is happening, especially considering that Dan Clancy welcomed Ray J onto the platform. So, which makes this a little bit more tumultuous. So anyway, that's where we are. And the part that already makes this
He's
a
got
really
that free
shitty
pass,
situation is the fact that it's already been way too long that Twitch has been quiet about it.
Yeah.
Like, this happened days ago and nothing has been done. And, people are putting up tweets. Other people are sending direct messages being like, what the are you doing? This, I hate to say it, but if this may be a very big very big turning point on Twitch, because if nothing gets done to Ray J, it's just going to start happening everywhere. There's no reason it won't.
Right.
No reason. He literally did the only thing that you can't do to actually get banned, and that is actually admitting without like on stream recorded that you are doing it. The reason no one's ever been banned for viewbots before now is because
nobody's stupid enough to say it.
I was about to say that dumb, but I'm
Welcome
not
in,
gonna say that
Pac
dumb
B. Good
because
morning,
Ray J's a new
good morning.
streamer. And it is very clear that this isn't a him being dumb thing. He fully believes he just started bursting onto the scene, and he's like, everyone's doing this, I'm doing it too. Like someone, and if no one stops him, he's kind of right, which is what's crazy about this whole situation.
Well, someone told him that everyone is doing it. It makes you think, who else has done this, right? Like who else has done this? Ron, who used to work at Twitch, I don't think he no longer does, but he said himself, it has happened. If Twitch had proof, I myself banned a lot of channels. We had a lot of channels that admitted or even showed the dashboard of the bots, and Twitch suspended the channels.
Viewbotting's so dumb, though. It's so dumb. It's dumb, but you can fully see why people do it. A, it's 100% clear to any of your actual viewers, if anybody viewbots. It's so easy for your actual viewers to notice, unless that is you've been doing it for so goddamn long that it's just become the norm. But like when channels go from like 20 viewers to 500 viewers overnight, and there's nobody extra chatting, and it wasn't because of a raid, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that somebody's viewbotting. And it doesn't really benefit them as much as people think it probably should. It pushes you up in the directory, but it doesn't do anything other than that. It pushes you up in the directory, sure, which might mean there is, I don't know, a single-digit percentage more natural discovery on Twitch. Not that natural discovery on Twitch is a thing in the first place. It seems such like anybody with half a brain will understand that it doesn't actually benefit you in any way either way, because you're not getting ad revenue off those. So, you know, there's literally zero value in it.
So he himself.
Well, that AI, and they can't analyze the patterns exactly.
Yes.
Out of curiosity, has there ever been a case of somebody getting banned for viewbotting that has not admitted it? Like
Yeah,
for
I
instance,
don't.
Well, I have 100,000
A viewbot is literally on stream.
viewers, but I'm not doing this. As far as I knew, no one had ever been hit for that. And if that's different, I would love to get informed on that.
This is.
He was viewbotting 20 viewers. Can you imagine the desperation level to bot 20 viewers? Outrageous.
Former Twitch employee, so he's
Hiding
no
in plain
longer-
sight,
okay.
literally, yeah.
Representing Twitch, he's representing himself, so I don't want. If he doesn't answer, he doesn't answer. But it's the type of thing where you start to wonder, like, well, someone told him that it is the common thing, it is the normal thing, right? So who knows? You start to wonder, like, well, who else is doing it, right? Like, who told him that? Who is he gonna drop names? Like, you start thinking, are there other big
Here's the
channels
thing.
that do this?
If they don't go after that, why would they do anything? Like, why would they even spend resources to try to combat that if they don't care if people do it? And I think this situation is going to start showing, like, maybe they just don't care. Maybe that ship has sailed at Twitch, and they just no longer care. Maybe it's all metrics over everything. They don't care if it comes from bots. But
This is probably another one of the reasons why Twitch can't sell ads. Because their tracking and their metrics are probably dog shit. And nobody out there that's got serious ad spend money looks at Twitch and goes, you know what? They've proven that they can provide value, some good return on investment. They'll just continue to pump all of their ad spend through Google AdWords instead.
you know, it's whatever they got to do. They got to do say something.
So
I had dinner with me and Dan Clancy.
yeah, okay.
And we talked about this issue at length, and that was 2 years ago, and shortly before the F Extra Life stuff happened. So that was when that big push happened initially.
Yeah.
That
Extra
kind of
Life was
started
funny.
the whole thing.
Oh,
And
God.
then, unfortunately, after that, it completely died. It was
Just
like that
pure
initiative disappeared.
embeds.
There was supposed to be a whole bunch of follow-up stuff to that just never happened. And now here we are. The biggest thing that I'm most concerned about is it's like this could have severe and significant ramifications to the entire platform. I am pretty frustrated with Dan. Like on a I am using your platform as a contractor level.
Yeah.
You are not being more responsible in making sure the people that give you money for advertisements know that those numbers are real numbers, that they're seeing. I'm pretty
Like what I
frustrated
said.
with him for not doing his job properly and making sure that that's public knowledge.
Sure.
Advertisers
doesn't
won't
do
spend on a
this,
platform
every
that's known
single
to be
streamer on this
dodgy.
platform should be very frustrated with him in that position doing what he's doing. So like this is a big deal. Like if viewbotting gets allowed on this platform, like every current metric, like River, all the big data stuff, it all goes off public information.
goes out the
all
window.
of that becomes garbage if
Right.
it's just flooded with fake numbers all the time. So it becomes impossible.
Check out
to
this
track.
donut,
like
boys
for
and girls. Oh
anything.
my God.
Everything loses value when you can't.
Where's
there's
the
no,
hole?
Yeah, it's gonna be ridiculous if that actually does not, if nothing gets done about it.
Yeah.
You could kill the platform for advertising. You could kill the platform completely if advertisers pull out. I'm gonna bring up something here though, because I was just saying there, I was like, I'm frustrated Dan isn't saying anything. I'm mad at him for not addressing it. But then that led me to think, what if he can't say anything about it? Because what if Twitch can't do anything about it? What if Twitch doesn't have
Yeah.
effective tools for identifying and stopping?
It's the same thing as WoW has with bots in game. They don't say anything because the more they say, the more that tells the people who are creating this viewbot software, selling the viewbot software, it tells them what they know, right? It's a game of cat and mouse. It's just like in World of Warcraft. The reason they say nothing is so that by saying nothing, you don't say it. Like, not saying anything at all gives away no information to the people who are nefarious, which is the number one priority. This is one of the very rare scenarios where company transparency goes out the window. They straight up don't want to say anything. The only time they say anything about viewbots or bots in a video game is when they absolutely have to.
Viewbots.
Ron made some more, I think, noteworthy comments in the chat. He said, Twitch has been doing a lot against bot for years. A lot of bots are filtered out, but many aren't. It's just the classic cat and mouse game. We always had a bot.
It's like
in
I wrote
Slack.
this video.
You could type in the channel, and it would show exactly how many bots were in that channel and where they came from. Twitch has a dedicated viewer bot team. So.
What? Wait,
Yeah.
you're telling me they could...
So at this point, there's no way they don't know about that situation, and maybe they're like having a conversation behind the scenes or something. If they go up and ban him, you have to deal with the social clapback of that towards the platform, and that might be even worse than a couple of disgruntled streamers.
You think that there would have been a big social pushback if Twitch had banned somebody who admitted to viewbotting on stream?
Yeah.
After all the other bans that go on all the time vacuously?
Yeah. People are stupid.
If they really cared about that, they would have done something about their actual ban system years ago.
True.
Because it is a complete cluster that is messed up and has stories about it 10 times a month. So the idea that that would stop them in this regard is
that is a weak
seems
argument. I
ridiculous.
agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a weak argument.
I don't know, man.
But I do think that when it comes to big creators, Twitch has to handle big creators with kid gloves because of the clapback from their audience.
But okay, I get like a Kai, right?
No. Just no. 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 For the most part, in this scenario, any news is good news. Positive or negative. For something that doesn't really matter that much, any news is good news. If they get pushback from dum-dums on the internet that they banned somebody who was viewbotting, then that's nothing but free earned media. Absolutely free earned media. There's absolutely zero downside to that scenario. Using kid gloves is the reason people are touchy these days. You're probably not wrong. Hang on, I've got so much donut on my face.
100K. I get it. I think wasn't he averaging like 500 or so? This is like a classic like viewbotting to get ahead experience. This isn't like Drake coming to stream on the platform or Kai Cenat or something.
I see what you're saying. That he doesn't have that much of an audience.
So why would, especially in this case, if you had 15,000 people base and you bought it to 100, that's one thing. But I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it would line up here. But the big thing is like whatever Twitch is doing, I hope they're trying to be at least somewhat smart behind the scenes about it. Because
Yes.
from
I
a
agree.
layman, from an outside layman, it looks like they're doing nothing, and it looks terrible. So that's
It's
with
meant
the
to look
information
like
I
they're doing
have,
nothing.
This looks incredibly not well.
Because when it looks like they're doing nothing, it means the people that are view botting have no idea that they're coming. It also means the companies out there that run the view bots and sell the view bots have no idea what Twitch are doing to combat them. That's the way that Twitch keeps on top of it. The unfortunate nature is a platform like Twitch and how it tracks its metrics is always going to be susceptible to view bots. And so the less they say, the better, in my opinion, unless they absolutely have to.
Well managed and very unprofessional. End of story, though. I wish they were more transparent with all this stuff. I wish they were
No,
more plugged
no,
into us.
no,
let's talk about
transparency is
view
not the
botting, why we
solution.
can't do it. Like this needs to be more of a thing and not something that's just pushed under the rug like it is now. It's just festering, and like people don't get it. Nobody really knows what's going on or what's going to happen.
I usually value Ko's opinion, but he's missed the point here a little bit, I think, unfortunately. I think he's missed the point. For somebody that plays video games literally for a living, he should have understood that these companies tend to say as little as possible about nefarious actors on their platforms so that the nefarious people don't get a heads up of what's going on or when it might happen or what they did that got them banned last time. It's yes, the game of cat and mouse is a metaphor that's thrown around, but it's thrown around for a reason. It just kind of annoyingly has to be that way. Right, I'm gonna load up WoW for 20 minutes. Need to repost some auctions. That's the first point of call today. I want to jump back into GTA because I had so much fun yesterday. It's not even funny. So let's load up a few instances of WoW real quick. I feel weird. I'm in the wrong corner of the screen. Back down here somewhere. Thinking about it, I don't actually need my main account up and running. I just need the auction house accounts, don't I? We're going to do a quick repost. You over there. You in. Check the auction house on that tune. Imagine if WoW was dwindling in player count and Blizzard added bot characters scattered around the world. I mean, that is the definition of an NPC, really, right? Oh, new trading post stuff today. Oh, of course, it is technically the first of the month, isn't it? No expireds. No expireds also means no sales. Is it saving month, is it? Is it not hot this month? Hot outside, but not hot in the trading post. Oh, didn't loot them, did I? One day out of WoW and I forgot what we're doing. I'm missing like 3 of the pets. I'm missing the 10, the 8, and 1 of the 5s. That's like some 20 plus Mechanicas I need. Oops. How many we got? 11. Well, that's not 20 plus, is it? Okay. Well, we're just going to have to not have those for sale then, I guess. You can live with that. Right, let's get some stuff relisted. We get these dudes logged on. Some of these fellas somewhere. There we go. I'm going to have a quick look at the trading post while we're here. Like I said, I really don't want to spend too much time in WoW today. Less than 24 hours since I said we're going to put WoW down, I'm back in. But I have to keep my auctions listed. I have to do this every couple of days anyway. Can have a little look at the trading post while it happens. Sell anything? Not really. Sell anything? No. Oh, we might get some Mechanicas in the mailbox here, actually. Thinking about it. How about goodies? Some freebies. See what we got. The Christ is that? Wailing Banshee collection. That is a hard pass. Jesus. That is a hard pass. Wailing Banshee Charger. Oh, annoyingly, that's quite cool though. Looks like a purple skeleton donkey. Okay. Unarmored Death Tusk Fellbore? Didn't we get something like this at the end of Legion? Pretty sure you can get a mount like this in Legion anyway. These are pretty cheap for mounts, you know. Dare I say, this is actually quite cheap for the mounts. Why is okay, sure. Funky Blade. Recolor Funky Blade. More Funky Blades. I mean, if this is your color scheme, then this is a good month for you, isn't it? Cauldron. Yeah, if you're really pushing that Banshee feel, adding pink shit, you can't go wrong adding pink stuff in the game. There's basically no pink stuff in the game, and we know how select individuals love their pink stuff. Basic quiver, bows. Yeah, there's a definite theme this month, isn't it? And if it's your jam, it's good, but as far as I'm concerned, it's a bit of a pass. I think I'm with you. It's a bit of a pass month, isn't it? Well, we'll get the pink horse though. He's cool. Add him to the cart. And I don't think this dude's all that great, but he's only a few hundred, so we'll add him to the cart as well. 900. We can do 900. That'll do. Banshee stuff is critical for me. I'm gonna buy all of them. Yeah, this is it. This feels like one of those months where it's kind of hit and miss. There's not anything that's just generic across the board really cool. But if it's your jam, then I imagine there's a lot of this that you might be after. Which is kind of cool. Oh, what's the big monthly reward? This real fast. You. Ta-da. What's the... How do we find it? Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Where do I see this thing? Oh, whoa, hello. What's going on here? Oh, they've really changed up the game here. So, okay, 1/5. Okay, there's 1,400 points you can get this month, and 3 different things along the way. So, Forsaken Cauldron. Go full screen for a minute. Forsaken Cauldron at like what looks to be halfway, 700 points or something. Forsaken's Grotesque Collection. Oh, you get the full green armor set. on the path. And then you get the green pony. You get the green pony for 1,400 points. Interesting. Okay. Well, that's a slightly different way of doing it. 150, 300, 500, 500. Wait, what? Hang on, now I'm really confused. 300, 500, 1,000. Is there a 400 stretch goal this month then? You get your 1,000 and then your stretch goal is... I thought the whole point of these stretch goals was they didn't put a reward at the end of it. They do keep tweaking with this, don't they? They're desperately trying to play with this and find out what works and what doesn't. I mean, I think the argument for me seems to be pretty straightforward. Make the first 1,000 points dead easy to get and put a grind in for the rest. Oh, that was the wrong button to press. Make the first 1,000 points easy peasy. Make the rest of it a grind. Meaning if you want to get absolutely everything, you do you. But give people enough to like buy the big ticket things. But if you want absolutely every cosmetic every month, work for it. But give people a way to work for it. I don't see why that's... I never liked this FOMO store concept in the first place. Mostly because I truly believed that it would lead to... FOMO store would lead to buy tenders for the low, low price of $99.99.99. Nearly convinced that was going to happen. Oh no, don't you log out. You're the one with the long boy. You're important. You hang there a minute. Wow, I'm posting 3 things on that realm. It's almost not worth it, is it? Okay, well the trading post is definitely interesting this month. Can't say it's a big hit for me personally, but I can definitely see why people would get behind that. Does all this Goblin bonus event thing kick off tomorrow? I think it does, doesn't it? Collector's Bounty, Greedy Emissary begins. Yeah, all of the collectors and the goblin stuff kicks off tomorrow. Not too bothered by all of that, really. Right, let's hop on the long boy here. Sold gold-plated shield. Nada. Not a lot of these servers have a lot on them yet. Another gold-plated blade. They seem to do quite well. Welcome in, Cowboy. Good morning, good morning. Big month for collectors. I'm going to try and get the Warglaves. Weirdly, I think the pink Warglaves are kind of quite cool. No delves this month until I got all I want, especially with my limited time in July. You got holiday. You got some time off, have you? My last week for the Manthe streak. You got some time off. I find it quite amusing, you know, that most people end up watching me like on a second screen while they're working or something. And so then people take a vacation and they actually disappear. Oh, you got a seminar this month? Okay, well, busy for other reasons then. Sure. Removing Twitch from your life is probably not a bad idea. Some mass clicking. I can't hear the music and the tune's up a bit. It's hot today though. I took a little walk to Lidl this morning, and it's getting quite toasty outside. Definitely noticed it by the time I got back. But it's nice. I like this weather. 43 yesterday? Get out of here. Okay, I don't want it that hot. You can keep that. Sheesh. I have zero issues with the heat at almost any level, to be honest, as long as there is a way to avoid it. When we moved into this place, when we bought this house, the very first thing I did or wanted to do was install an AC, like a proper proper on the wall AC unit rather than one of those towers that you plug in. Simply because like it's a creature comfort that you just absolutely have to have when the weather gets hot. It can be 40 degrees outside, and I'd happily be out in it as long as I could then go in and it be a stable 22. Boom. Then I'm happy. Oh, why didn't you log in? Get as many rares as you can, because after the reset, you're going to have a hard time. The Greedy Goblin event takes place in the Undermine. Yeah, I'm not playing WoW this month anyway. I couldn't care less what goes on in the Undermine. I'm only playing WoW right now. I'm literally relisting auctions, then I'm logging off. This is my vacation month. And by vacation month, I mean we're playing other games. I'm just doing some busy work. Why won't you join the group? There we go. Yeah, got to keep the auctions listed, but other than that, we're not like proactively doing much. So I will disappoint some people in a minute when we log out and we go back to playing GTA 5. Because I had an absolute riot playing that yesterday. Really enjoyed it. I did play some GTA 5 yesterday evening as well. So the stream is not necessarily going to be a perfect storyline playthrough of GTA 5. But I'm living by the theory that after 13 years, most of you have played it and most of you know the story anyway. And more importantly than that, it's a great time to go and have another playthrough of it if you want yourself anyway. Please listen to what you said. I say. I have zero issues with the heat at almost any level, to be honest, as long as there is a way to avoid it. Yeah, well, I mean, avoid it. It's like it doesn't matter how hot it is outside, as long as I can come inside, and inside is climate controlled. You know, I need that escape. The worst thing about the summer for me is when it's 30 degrees and you can't escape the 30 degrees. My wife, for example, when it gets above 25, she just melts full. She can't exist in heat above 25. Anything above 25, and she just does. She's just fundamentally stops working. I don't mind. I can function. I can do stuff. But you know, I'll get hot. I'll get sweaty. But I don't care. As long as I've got somewhere where you can, like, you know, at the end of the day, go and escape, take a cold shower, and then climate controlled environment. That's kind of my way of like controlling it. sleeping, I think, is the most important. You want to have somewhere where you sleep has to be climate controlled. It's not comfortable. It's not ideal. I don't think to sleep much above. You probably shouldn't vary your sleeping temperature all that much. But I don't know what the science is on that. I don't even know if there is any science on that. Ask Nurse K-Chak when you next see him. What do you... Asking Siri what do you do when your wife overheats? Feed her ice cream. Guaranteed victory. I'm a welder by trade. The heat never bothered me until I got COPD. I'm terrible with acronyms. I don't know what that means. I think you told me before, so I kind of feel bad that I can't remember. But I remember you were dealing with something recently. But yeah, I imagine welding by trade, it's quite a hot environment, I would guess. Cooking a toasty 31 in my apartment? Oh, see, yeah, no. That's too hot for like living conditions. Fine if it's 31 outside. When you come in, you need it almost 10 degrees less than that. Oh, sold a few things here. What have we sold? Tome of Polymorph Monkey? I wonder what we bought that for. Flip to Monkey Polymorph for 36k. Did we buy that on this realm? Okay, we bought it for 1 gold. We sold it for 36,000. That's the kind of returns we like to see. Oh no, wait, hang on. That's not saying. Did we maybe not buy it on this realm? Why did it have an out value? Oh, we bought a few of them. I bought a few of them for a couple of 100 gold. Sold it for 35k. We will take those numbers. Those are profit margins we like to see. COPD's breathing problems, okay. Start radiation tomorrow in a nice air-conditioned, cooled hospital. 4 times a day? Oh, Lord. That's still a lot, though. Gave up the Boilermaker welder trade. The heat and the fumes were literally killing me. I imagine the fumes is the big problem, right? Surely. What will happen with the extra counts if you put down WoW down for a while? Well, nothing. They'll just keep ticking over. The reality is it's 2 million gold a month roughly in tokens to keep all of these accounts up and running. But I'm only going to go play some other games for a few weeks, so it's not like I'll let the subscription lapse. I'll just keep stuff posted. Keep listing auctions. This is the advantage of slowly building up, like, you know, a few million gold worth of auctions on every realm. You only need to sell 1% of your stock to, like, pay for everything at that point. The whole point of keeping up with the Mechanica farm this long, honestly, was to make sure there was a bit of a nest egg of funds available. So if these end up not being super profitable for a couple of months, because we're focusing on doing other stuff, for example, that I don't cry over the 4 extra tokens a month we need. Oh, sorry, only 4 times this time. Sorry, I read that completely wrong. 1 time for 4 days. Okay, that's easier. That seems more manageable, I would imagine. My knowledge on this stuff is limited. A Mechanica at least. 2 Mechanicas actually, by the looks of things. Potentially trade those over. Been wrestling with the idea of just not bothering to trade the Mechanicas around and just waiting until Toons get 5 and then trade them in for a pet and sell it on that realm. Just completely passively deal with the Mechanicas rather than transferring them all to Draenor, selling them all on Draenor. You guys comparing the lack of fingers. It shouldn't be funny, but there is something amusing about that somewhere. Well, these auction houses feel really slow today for some reason. I'm hoping I can quickly cycle through these, bang these out in like half hour. Probably shouldn't take too long. Hold on a goddamn minute, this isn't GTA 5. Well, we're actually lurking in just chatting right now at the moment. I probably need to remember to change this. One thing I hate about Twitch is that you have to put yourself in a flipping category all the time. Why they can't AI this shit, and why tags aren't enough. We will jump back into some GTA 5 in a bit. I just got to get these auctions listed. Some leveling gear. I'd normally just bang this out quickly off stream, but my schedule's all a little bit loopy at the moment. Discord, yes, I'll continuously tell everybody that you're playing Twitch now, I won't bother. Twitch is, I don't know why Twitch doesn't have anything that just like automatically detects what you're playing. And like puts you in the React category, or puts you in the just chatting category, or puts you in a certain game category. I don't know why they haven't built that tech. The reality for me is that Twitch is, weird as this sounds, starting to feel a little archaic in its technology now. After basically pioneer, now playing Chrome tab Pornhub, that's why. Yeah, maybe. Maybe the tech is there. Maybe it's a proactive choice to not use it. But after Twitch pioneering live streaming, pretty much, in its current concept at least, it seems that they are seriously being left in the dust with the direction that, you know, the industry's going. If Twitch ever loses its community feel, it's literally toast. Forged gauntlets, take those. Because it's the one thing that makes Twitch feel like Twitch. A lucky streak ring. All flipping undermine gear we're selling. Not actually selling any of the fun stuff. Yeah, as soon as Twitch loses that sort of community-esque feel about it. I don't know the numbers. I don't know the numbers to understand if they're severe enough for Twitch to have to fight for this. This is the thing. I'm not sure, because Amazon bought Twitch not for, they didn't spend $1 billion on buying Twitch because they saw Twitch to be a hugely successful, massively you know, the next latest and greatest. They bought Twitch because of the technology that Twitch owned. And Amazon has repurposed that technology, created Amazon, was it AWS or something? Amazon AVS, Amazon Video Service or something? I can't remember what it's called. But Twitch has been harvested for all it's worth as far as Amazon's concerned anyway. And I don't think in the scheme of things, Twitch doesn't make money. But at the same time, as long as it doesn't cost Amazon much money, they might just keep it around as a loss leader. Since they make enough money off flipping Kick trying to copy them anyway. Amazon Web Services, there we go, that's the one. I knew it was something like that. And for as long as Twitch doesn't do anything overly stupid, it might just be left to just exist in the small corner of the internet. You've seen Shaq's on YouTube and his collecting journey. It's a pretty watch. He's locking himself in Shadowlands until he's collected 100% of it. I mean, he's never going to leave then, is he? Never going to leave. I've seen the popularity of these like challenge videos on YouTube. I think they're intriguing conceptually, but I don't really find them entertaining. Now this is probably just me, but I don't necessarily gain all that much comfort by watching somebody else beat themselves up, which is what I think a lot of these challenges are. Now, there's a definite market for it, otherwise they wouldn't be popular, but it's just not something that really interests me at all. Like the zone locked stuff, it's cool conceptually, but I don't know if I'm to chain Skull Blasters of the Aurora for 37k. Get in. I don't know. Maybe I think too rationally about this sort of stuff. I don't really, you know, it just comes down to a maths equation for me. oh, well, if I'm, you know, locked in this zone and the most profitable thing to do in this zone is to farm this material, then do some quick napkin maths. How many hours am I going to have to farm this material minus a small percentage for the fact that farming that one material is probably likely to flood the auction house and probably mean I'm going to have to sell it cheaper. It's just a simple maths equation, and then you got to do it. It's not fun. I don't see the fun in it. I think in that scenario, it becomes quite a skill to make it entertaining. The skill is in the edit. The skill is in the telling of the story on that one. The skill is not so much in the this is what you can do in this zone to make however much gold, or I'm going to stay in BFA until I've collected everything. It's like, well, if you can tell a good story, if you can make it into a good story, I can see it being a novel interest. But it feels very time consuming and very painful at the same time. So I'm unsure about them. Don't think it's for me. Somebody should call medical services due to reasonings of self-harm. Yeah, locking yourself in Shadowlands is like, oof. At a certain point, you'll just be waiting for a rare rotation to farm the 1% drop chance stuff. Yeah. It like, and there's it's one of those as well where there's heavy diminishing returns on your success with this. Anybody that's tinkered with ATT at any point, or anybody that at any point has anybody who has at any point tried to like take all the things relatively seriously knows that you just hit a brick wall at some point. You can collect a lot of stuff pretty easily, pretty quickly, mostly because it's just, 2 or 3 times killing a boss or something, or completing a dungeon can get you like 70% of most everything these days. It's that last 5% though that will probably take you as long, if not longer, than the 95% before it. Which is where your sanity will deplete very quickly. %80 complete my warlock. Cloth stuff. Good effort. Good effort. I mean, I've always suggested to people, if you like collecting stuff, then you can use that as a fantastic way to actually make a load of gold at the same time. As long as you're sort of quite strict with yourself about it. Such as you can very easily just live by the theory, learn the first, sell the second. And you'll get so many spares if you actually do try and push past that sort of 95% complete mark. You'll end up making gold hand over fist just by being able to sell all of your spare stuff that you find. First team did the mech farm yesterday. Struggling with how to organize them though. Does it matter if you're Horde Alliance on the same team? Probably not. Every one of my characters is Horde, though. It might cause some weirdness. You can do cross-faction instance stuff quite easily. Cross-faction world stuff, though, is still a bit weird. So much so that I can't keep up with what the rules are these days. Okay, we're selling an absolutely fat lot of nothing today. Over the last couple of days. I think we've had like 100k of sales, that's it. Scared of ATT? Oh, I don't blame you. ATT is both a blessing and a curse. It's like crack. Genuinely is. It's crack cocaine for WoW players. If you use it if you use it passively, it's probably not going to kill you. But don't get addicted. $175 comments on the new event post on Wowhead. Is this the Greedy Goblin one? The Diablo crossover event. It's going to be funny if they drop Mechanica, you know. Me choosing to not play World of Warcraft will have come at the absolute perfect time if that's the case. I don't think they will, though. The goblins won't drop Mechanica, I don't think, but the fact that you have to kill the rares, I believe, to spawn the goblins in the first place means a few more people will get a few more of them, I reckon. Once you get that first ATT ding sound, it's over. Yeah, you're just hooked. When it comes to organizing your teams of players, you basically want to try and get characters on as many different shard types as possible. Now, on the EU, this is made a little bit easier because we have multiple different language realms. We also have role-playing servers for each of those languages as well. So you want your 5 characters, preferably one on an English realm, one on an English RP realm, because they'll almost always be on different phases. You then want like a German normal realm, even though they can sometimes cross with English normal realms, but not often. You want a German RP realm, and then you probably want, I don't know, a French RP realm or something. This will mean that you'll have 5 characters on different shards. But of course, you also need all these characters to be level 70 plus. Apparently the drop rate's changed from 10 times to plus 5%, and people are losing it. The event hasn't begun yet. How are people so fun? Like this has caused a weird rift between people that I don't quite get. Like how I even saw other content creators saying that like this Goblin event is bad for the game. I'm like, what do you mean it's bad for the game? They're giving you an increased chance to go and get the legacy mounts from old dungeons. How is that bad for the game? Like, I couldn't see the logic in it. People claiming that, you know, it feels bad for those people who over the years have farmed those mounts. And I'm like, well, yeah, but they've got the mounts. You've got, and you've had the reward for however long as you've had it. If it's only a feels bad for a very, very slim section of players, which are those players that have spent an ungodly amount of time farming for something to make their collection number go up by 1. And I don't feel bad for those people because they made their bed, so sleep in it. If you're only out there farming stuff and you're only collecting stuff to make your number go up by 1, then, like, if you don't see any intrinsic value in getting the thing in the first place, then that's your prerogative. But that's, you know, you can't say that increasing the drop chance on legacy mounts for a short window of opportunity is bad for the game. That's mental. It doesn't make any sense. It gives people who haven't played the game for 20 years, it gives people who didn't play that content way back in the day a prime opportunity to put a bit of effort in to go get it now, when there's not much else going on. How people can somehow spin that into a negative blows my mind. And I'm a very cynical person. I would be the first person to find a negative in something. But it seems like a real wild take to me. It's something that has amused me over the years, and it's that people get offended on behalf of other people. That concept generally just makes me giggle. People who get offended on behalf of somebody else, they need to find something serious to worry about, because their life is clearly too easy. If you're getting offended on behalf of somebody else, stop it. Let the other person be offended if they want to be offended. And even then, you know, wow. If you think that if you're of the opinion that this goblin mode giving people a boost to the increase in chance of getting legacy mounts and transmog items is a bad thing, you're getting offended for people. Either you're passing it off as you're being offended for all of these people that might feel negative about something. You're using that as a way to detract from the fact that actually you're butthurt yourself. And you're just, you know, you're claiming, yes, but all of these other people will also be offended by it. Well, let them be offended for it and let them voice it if they actually are. It's just a deflection, I think. Some people are just butthurt that they have spent a bunch of time making their number go up by 1. And now other people might have an easier time of doing it and they're butthurt. Which is funny. I've heard saying that now there'll be a president and people will wait for these events to collect. I think if you really make this calculation, I don't see it worth any more to farm otherwise. Clearly you didn't enjoy collecting enough. Yeah, this is it. These people who choose to wait until there's a bonus event to farm something, like, you're probably only collecting something to make the number go up by 1. The point of going and getting an old mount, an old legacy mount, a 1% drop chance mount, is that, especially if it's a really old one, you might have wanted that for ages and now you get it. That's the point. If you didn't really want that mount in the first place, don't waste your time going and getting it. I just see this as a prime example of people not playing the game for fun, but playing the game like to chase a goal. And Blizzard is just playing these people like Blizzard have got these people on strings, you know. They're just being played like puppets. And is why I'm maybe almost more focusing these days on taking time away from WoW from time to time. Because once it's got its claws into you, sometimes it doesn't let go very easily. And Blizzard is absolutely not going to let that advantage slip. You seen all the stand-up comedy on that topic from the short person? Funny as hell. I haven't, no. Matthew's confirmed negative Nancy. I do have the tendency to be slightly cynical about stuff. But I also think I'm relatively well balanced with my opinions generally. That I will at least consider both sides of the story. Second Bruto felt like a bit of a slap to the original owners. Why? Why? I don't think a single original Bruto owner really had all that any issue with the second Bruto turning up. Now, there is probably 3 people in the world that might get a little bit butthurt. The people that spent 10 million gold on the OG Bruto, like literally days before it hit the store, maybe possibly would have been a little bit like, ah, shit, I just wanted an auction house mount and I've spent 10 million on one, whereas I could have just cashed out for some tokens and got 2 million for one. If that was your only goal, was to get an auction house mount, and you literally just bought it from the black market auction house, gold capped it, got super lucky, then I can see those 3 people being ever so maybe possibly a little bit peeved. But for all the people that had the OG Brutosaur potentially since BFA and have had years of use out of it, had no complaints. None whatsoever. And I would go as far as to say most of those players probably also still wanted the black one anyway. And so probably still got the new one anyway. Like, it's not. I can't feasibly understand how it would be seen as a slap in the face. Doesn't make any sense. New one was cheaper and better. Yeah, but that's just how I don't know. I don't know. You buy a TV, or you buy a car, or you buy a computer, or you buy a microphone. You buy anything these days, next year there'll be a cheaper one that's better. That's just how, like, if you get butthurt by cheaper, better things turning up later down the line, I don't know. I think those people are just kind of looking at it a bit wrong. Raging Behemoth shoulder plates. I don't even know what those are. A sale's a sale. Oh, what we got here? Schematic Wonderhill Shades. Oh, that's a flip on the their Sunwell recipes. Chant Ring Cursed Mastery recipe. Definitely wouldn't have paid 10k for that, so that's a nice little flip there as well. Jesus, how many items are in this mailbox? Whoa, this dude's got way too much stuff. You're not meant to be posting that much stuff. Maybe I've bought a bunch of stuff on this realm at one point. Not realised. Only meant to have like 40 or 50 items per realm. Dude's got like 100. Oh, the farming of the OG Bruto was fantastic to watch. Like, the ways that people would farm for that thing, my lord. And it was because people had to do it fast as well. People had to do it fast, right? There were people that have, you know, people had a deadline to hit 5 million gold. And these were people that had probably never had more than 50,000 gold in their life. And I think a lot of people quite quickly realised that 5 million gold is an absolutely ridiculous amount of gold to own in this game. Because doing it from mostly zero with a deadline, when there is also simultaneously thousands of other people trying to do exactly the same, it was chaos. Completely nuked the BFA markets at the end of the expansion. I mean, most markets get pretty nuked anyway, but like, unbelievably so. God bless flipping, what were they? The OG, the corruption gear. Sheesh, corruption BOEs were the only thing that saved the end of Battle for Azeroth. Because crafting was in the bin. Did you farm 5 million in BFA by doing world quests? People were doing as much. People were running, so one way that became popular and almost became the meta, and when I tell you this, you'll think it's absolutely bananas, but it's absolutely true. The Atoll Desar dungeon was a pretty fast dungeon to run. You didn't need to complete the whole dungeon. What you would do is you'd run into the middle. You would round up all of the raptors. You'd kill all of the raptors. Now, let's not forget that was a current expansion dungeon at the time, so you needed like a pretty well-geared. I think Demon Hunter was considered the meta for this. You needed a pretty well-geared Demon Hunter to do this in the first place. That Demon Hunter then had to have skinning and leatherworking. You would round up the raptors in the dungeon. You would kill them. You would skin them. You would use that leather to make like leather cuffs or something, and then you'd vendor them. And that was it. And people were doing that for about 5,000 or 6,000 gold an hour. And they were doing that to grind 10 million gold. 5 million gold, sorry. And people spent hundreds of hours just doing that to get it. It was bananas. Raw gold farming was never more prominent than it was during the Longboy extinction period. And it's partly the reason I got back into gold making sort of publicly was because it was painful to watch so many people do these hyper inefficient like vendor shuffle farms. But it was only because they were all absolutely desperate to get 5 million gold, all by the same deadline. Little did we know, only a few months later in Shadowlands, we were going to have probably the most lucrative goal-making opportunity the game's ever seen in rank 1 to 4 legendaries. Which I am almost sort of convinced that ranks 1 through to 4 legendaries in Shadowlands were... I tend to think they were so lucrative because there was probably an awful lot of people that tried to farm 5 million, didn't farm 5 million, and then went into Shadowlands with money to burn. And so I think that early round of rank 1, 2, 3, and 4 legendaries were sold at astronomical prices, and people paid astronomical prices because they had money lying about. Because they didn't get their long boy. I can't even begin to think how many, because you think 5 million gold is a lot of gold, but you always think it's achievable, and you start chipping away at it. But then when the deadline got closer and closer and closer, the amount of posts and like questions like, how do I need to make 1.2 million gold and I've got 3 days, how do I do it? I'm like, well, sell a kidney. Sell a kidney or get your credit card out. There's 2 options at this point. And so I reckon there was people that probably got like 3 million and just didn't get enough. But then they went into Shadowlands with 3 million in their back pocket and were like, all right, sure, I'll just buy these new fancy legendaries then. I mean, to be fair, the cost of crafting those legendaries was still pretty ridiculous. But crafters were still making 20 to 30% margin on every legendary they sold. Smart ones saved a kidney for future Nvidia purchases. Oh my god, people do the maths on that sort of stuff, don't they? And it gets scary. If instead of... I saw it somewhere along the lines. Instead of buying, I think it was a 2080. Instead of buying a 2080, if you'd have taken the money for a 2080 graphics card, and instead of giving it to Nvidia in exchange for a graphics card, you invested it in Nvidia, you would have basically made like $100,000 or something. Like I can't remember the exact numbers, but it was pretty scary, and it wasn't that long of a period of time either. That if instead of actually buying the company's product, you just invested in the company, you'd have been able to buy their latest and greatest graphics card every year for the next 50 years, basically for free. Right, it's taking me a lot longer to list these flipping auctions than I planned. I want to go play GTA. I'm itching to go play GTA. Big Grand Theft Auto 5. Made over 500 mil in Shadowlands and half of the expansion I was playing Classic. Yeah. Yeah. You didn't really need to... There was maybe like 3 weeks of the expansion where you made the gold. For the most part, the rest of the expansion was just like market maintenance in a way. I spent 6 days of the week. No, sorry, that's a lie. I spent probably 5 days of the week basically selling my legendaries roughly at what they cost. But that meant that on the 2 days of the week when everybody was out buying legendaries, e.g. reset day and like Saturday evening, there was 2 days of the week I could sell legendaries at 20% profit all day. But selling them at cost the rest of the week is what allowed me to do that. And it meant that I didn't get too much competition. Kind of crazy. $5 million mailboxes like daily just became the norm. And not 5 million gold across 50 servers. No, 5 million gold on a single server. It's gross. I don't ever want to do it again. Right, I still got a couple of servers to do. Quick bathroom break, and I'll be back in 2. Alrighty, how we doing? Right, let's get these last few rails sorted. Where log out of you, invite everybody in. I was kind of hoping for a few more sales on these tunes, to be fair. Oh, what's this? Found something down here. Schematic, HELP. What? Once again, I don't even know what this is. We end up buying so much random bits and pieces. Sell some of it. Why is it not opening? Yeah, the amount of cancel scanning we had to do in Shadowlands, though, I never want to repeat that, to be fair. Never want to repeat that. He says as he's wildly posting across 4 different servers at once, but, you know, cancel scanning was a different game. Posting, I can do posting. Post stuff, walk away. Sells, it sells. If it doesn't, try again. Poor mouse finger. I still haven't set up the scroll wheel, believe it or not. I want to get one of those foot pedals. Make this whole process much easier. Oh, hang on, the wife's calling. Please hold. Okay, chat. I told you this month was going to be a wild ride. The wife has decided it would be a good day, considering the sun's out, to go do the food shop. I wasn't planning this, but, you know, stuff happens. Happy wife, happy life. So I'm actually going to leave it here for now. It might mean I throw the stream up this evening. I've literally been live an hour and a half. It's ridiculous, I know. But you know, I'm trying to do the good husband thing here. Trying. So, I'll get back to this later. We didn't even make it to GTA. We'll go play some GTA in a bit. The sun's out. We'll go do some food shopping. Hopefully this means this evening I can play some video games and it'll be all good. But, boys and girls, if you were here nice and early this morning, please enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for stopping by. Short and sweet. But I'll catch you next time. Have a good one. Peace.